All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. All right, y'all, back with another one. Once again, talking about flyweights, the hottest division out there. Now, I know we got some fights lined up already, and the title fight happening at some point. But I wanted to talk about some matches that I'd like to see. Personally, these are matches that I think would line up nicely, style-wise, and definitely bring some action, even more action to the flyweight division. Now, will they happen? I don't know. But I'd like to see these fights happen at some point in 2024 or early to mid-2025 before these fighters retire or they start to fall off or go on their losing streak. I'd like to see these fights happen at some point. Now, these were two matches that I talked about a little bit before, but there's a third fight here that, style-wise, I think would really light up the 125-pound division. So, yeah, I kind of want to break these fights down on how I think they would play out and, why we need them for the division. I mean, for a hot, division that's already hot already, but I think we could do with some more action, right? So, yeah, these are three flyweight fights that I need to see at some point in these six fighters' careers, all right? Starting with the first fight, I think we already talked about this one a lot, but, let's kind of look at this one a little bit closer, how it would play out. Aaron Blanchfield versus Maycee Barber. Now, low-key, these two have some animosity here. Every time these two every time these two are interviewed and their names are brought up to each other, they kind of throw a little shade at each other, especially Maycee Barber. I know she said a few things about Aaron Blanchfield, just like kind of low-key dissing, and she never really wanted that fight. But I think Aaron Blanchfield, when the name comes up, she sounds like, hey, she'd be cool with the fight. But at this point, she's not really on her radar because, she's taking on Manon and, she's already kind of surpassed Maycee Barber, right? Maycee Barber's catching up. But, Aaron Blanchfield, she's got bigger things on her mind, so she's not really worried about her. But when the name comes up, Maycee Barber, Aaron Blanchfield name comes up to her, these two, they kind of have this low-key, I won't say hate, but there's some animosity there. I kind of feel that. Just a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah, this is a good matchup because, Maycee Barber, she brings the power with the hands. But Blanchfield, she brings that well-rounded game that adapts. And, she has good hands. And these two fighters right here, style-wise, both of these fighters, they play in close to each other where we know there's going to be connection, whether it's Maycee Barber touching the chin on Aaron or Aaron taking Maycee down. All right. We know these two type of fighters, they like that action. They're come forward fighters like that. They get in each other's zones. They like to disrespect. They like that type of fight. OK, that's their thing. Maycee Barber, her strengths in this fight would definitely be her power and her stand-up. As long as her opponent isn't too tricky on the feet, she's good. She's bringing in body kicks and high kicks. That straight left hand has a lot of power to it, but that right hook has a lot of power also. She does a lot of damage whenever she connects. So that type of striking game at mid-range would be dangerous, but her improving clinch game, which I know it didn't look the best against Caitlin Chikagan, but when she's able to slip and slide in there and get really physical with them elbows and those hard fists on the inside and knees to the body, she's a very dangerous fighter. So whenever she gets on the inside, Maycee Barber, she brings that threat. So when you put these two together and you put Maycee Barber in there like that, it definitely spells a dogfight. Now, weaknesses with Maycee Barber in a fight with somebody like Aaron Blanchfield is, sometimes she can be a slow starter. All right, she can be a slow starter. She can stay on the outside a little bit, do a little shadow boxing. Seems like it takes her a while to kind of find her range. Sometimes she likes to swing for the fences a little too early, and that leaves her vulnerable to takedowns, being taken down. And Aaron Blanchfield, come on now, you can't be up in there swinging for the fences off the mark like that, because Aaron Blanchfield, she'll take you down. And again, Maycee Barber, she's easy to take down and put on her back. She's also open to get hit a lot. You can target Maycee Barber. She doesn't really have great head movement, but she can take a shot. She could definitely take a shot. Sometimes it'll wake her up and it makes her better in the fight. Now, if you're looking at Aaron Blanchfield, like I said, she's got that effective pressure. She likes to back you up. She kind of does these little herky-jerky feints with her head now, as far as taking her head off the line, and she'll throw that long jab. She's got a freakishly long reach for her height, too. She's got those long arms, and she likes to throw straight punches. Long reach, fights behind that jab, and she likes to fight her way in. That's the good thing, and that's one of the good things I like about Aaron Blanchfield. Very tough, but she'll extend her arms all the way to keep herself out of harm's way. Now, Maycee Barber, she's got a clinch game, but Aaron Blanchfield, her clinch game on her clinch game on the cage is very dangerous. She's very physical in there. She's got that strength. She can hem you up on the cage. She can just use her head to kind of wear you out, kind of maul you, till eventually, she can get that ankle up under yours, and then she'll trip you and take you down. That's the kind of the surprise with her now. When she gets you on the ground, her groundwork is very effective. She's strong, very physically strong. She can put that weight on you, and then she starts getting those elbows in so she can slip that submission up on you. So that's something that Maycee Barber would have to look out for. Now, her weaknesses in a Maycee Barber fight would be her defense. It would be her defense. Sometimes she could be a little bit slow because she depends on timing. So Maycee Barber, with that quick burst and those power shots that she's throwing, that would be where she could capitalize on the weakness of Erin Blanchfield. It's very, very dangerous for her to just go straight in against a fighter like her, like she did against Andrade, because Maycee Barber, when she hurts you, she can finish you. I know she didn't finish Chikeg, and there's a lot of fighters she hasn't finished, but once you're in her zone, like I said, in that connection range, and she cracks you one time, she's going to follow up. So Erin Blanchfield going into a fight with Maycee Barber, it wouldn't be smart for her to try to trade with her. It'd be smart to, shoot the long punches out to keep Maycee Barber at bay, and then drop a level and take her to the cage or take her straight down. So yeah, the fight in these girls is what makes this fight really interesting. Both don't mind getting hit, and they always want to get it back. They always want to get it back, and it would come down to who could adapt and who's going to break from the dog fight that the other fighter initiates. So yeah, that'd be a really good fight, man. I know most of y'all want to see that matchup too. I don't know, every time I see these two meet in the middle, I see somebody getting rocked or I see somebody getting finished. Erin versus Maycee, I don't see it going the distance. I'd love to see it be a 5-round main event, but I don't even think 5 rounds is needed. All right. Moving on to the next fight. This is another fight I would love to see. Now, I know she's lined up for a championship fight, in a few months, and we don't know how it could go right now, but regardless of who's holding the title, if she is holding the title, I still want to see this fight. I think this is a good style matchup. We've been wanting to see this now for about a year. Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. This is an interesting matchup to see how far Manon has come in her skills as a UFC fighter, and how much Valentina Shevchenko still has in her tank to compete with the new flyweight crop. All right. Aside from Tyler Santos and Grasso, we haven't really seen her fight any of these other fighters yet. So I'm still kind of interested to see how she would take on somebody this big and this strong. I think for the most part, we would be looking at two fighters wanting to test their stand-up against each other to see who's better. But if someone wants to really take the lead in this fight, if somebody was to really take the lead as far as a stand-up, I think we'll see somebody have to go to a plan B in this fight, or somebody will initiate that plan B, right? Manon, she obviously has the size, but she is more of a striker. She will commit to that combination style where she'll step in, or she'll fight behind the karate kicks, or throw those straight left hand or those check right hooks. That's what we kind of see her mostly do, even though she is a big fighter. Still haven't really seen her on her back, and we haven't really seen, that submission defense from her, like how she react to getting put on her back, or if she's getting taken down like consecutively, in a round. So, those could still be issues in a fight to get, especially against somebody that's physically strong like Valentina. We see her take down some of the biggest fighters and, just control on top, So Valentina Shevchenko, I think we all know how slick she can be, on the feet. She can control the range with her eyes. She's good at that. She has that timing down. But, she's also quick with takedowns. She's good at controlling the top position and keeping opponents down and landing those elbows. But now that time is catching up to her, the blueprint is out on her, even on the feet. Even on the feet at this point, there's times when some of her sequences have been easier to time now. When you're looking at Valentina, you think, her defense is solid, but Grasso, she's kind of cracked that code now that you have to take that chance and don't show her too much respect. Because again, Valentina Shevchenko, she has pop in her shots. She doesn't have the Amanda Nunes power, like the most devastating power out there, but she has enough to keep you on the outside, but you got to take that chance. And that's the thing about Grasso, like she was getting jabbed a lot in the first 2 fights, but she was taking that chance to step in because she believed in her power. So, somebody like Manon Fiorot, she would have to believe in her power and really start to sit on her shots with somebody like Valentina. Stretch them out, extend those shots, don't throw too many hooks. But when Valentina steps in, know how to measure that range, and then you catch her with the hook. Same thing with Grasso was doing. Grasso didn't really like hook from the outside or get too excited. She set those traps for Valentina. So as time's been going on, you know, I think Valentina has kind of depended on the same sequences because nobody's really evolved like that or made her have to adjust outside of the same punches. But I think somebody like Manon, you know, if she continues to watch her and see what Grasso did, she could capitalize on that. Now, with both of these fighters, you know, they are southpaws. I think Manon, she'd have to be much more fluid in her boxing, same way Grasso was, you know, to get her point across. I think she would have to lure Shevchenko in, like I said, and catch her with the right hooks, or, you know, even stay from the outside and just kind of pot shot and find those openings, you know, get Valentina to walk into her left hand. You know, for Valentina, I think, you know, she would have to just time her, you know, just time her, keep it from the outside, you know, land those calf kicks, and then eventually, you know, start going to the body a little bit on Manon since it's a wide open target, and then, you know, start catching her with the straight left hand, then get her down to the ground. But on the feet, I think it would be kind of interesting, you know, because I think, yeah, Manon, her IQ has kind of stepped up, you know, even fight like Rose and Chikagan, it's kind of forced her to adjust in fights. So, you know, I think she would have a good chance in this fight against Valentina. You know, the side kick would be a good weapon as long as she's not close in range where Valentina could grab that ankle and take her down. I think it's a fight Manon would have to make ugly at times. You know, that's why I keep saying I want to see her use that size more in her fights, like even against Chikagan and like against Rose Namajunas. I wanted to see her finish those fighters, take them down. But, yeah, definitely she would have to make it ugly, you know, a mix of Santos and Grasso. I think Manon has those skill sets. You know, she has the size like Santos. You know, she's been working on the ground game where she could, you know, clinch up on the cage and take Valentina there because, yeah, age is catching up with Valentina. But she also has the speed and timing in that southpaw style like Grasso where she could start to really capitalize on that. You know, she's got to take charge and be rough with Shevchenko and not just hold, but elbow, knee, and use her size. You know, for Valentina, you know, she's got to look for those high kicks, keep that range, and, you know, just kind of find that rangy fight like she has in the past, like even against Amanda Nunes. Like I said, this would be an interesting fight because I'd like to see if Valentina can still hang with these big fighters and, like, has she evolved? Has she, you know, learned enough to kind of step out of the box? Because even, you know, in the Grasso fights, she has been a little bit more predictable and, you know, still kind of going through the same motions. So let's see if she'll have that same energy even with somebody like Manon, or will Manon be able to use her size and be stronger than Valentina? So, yeah, that's definitely one I got to see. Could I pick a winner? No, I can't. That's why I want to see this matchup. Same with Aaron and Macy. I can't really pick a winner at this point. All right. Last but not least, definitely a fight I'd love to see here. You know, I know some of y'all have talked about this one too. Most people have talked about a different matchup here. All right. But this is one that I just kind of came up with last week because just watching some of their fights, I was like, you know what? I'd love to see this matchup. Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva at some point. Like I said, Grasso ain't got to hold the belt. Shoot, Natalia Silva could have the belt at this point. I don't care. But, you know, I would love to see this fight. This would be a good matchup. This one, I just thought about because at some point Silva could get that shot if Grasso still holds the belt, or even if Grasso loses it. I think she's definitely going to surpass some fighters and get there. So Silva, you know, in the meantime, like, if Grasso did lose the belt in like 2024 or 2025, she would definitely ask for this fight. I believe she would love this fight to kind of test herself, you know, like if Grasso lost it against a former champion, if that was the situation. Overall, this would be a crazy stand-up fight where we would see boxer versus, you know, the Taekwondo striker, MMA striker, try to go in there, and one or the other would really try to control this fight with their style. You know, Grasso's already said it before that she likes to fight with her hands. You know, she likes it for it to be standing, and she likes to go in and that's her style. Now, she has been learning her ground game, and it worked for her because she finished Valentina, but I think this fight would really be the crazy stand-up matchup where they would really be competing to see who's better, Taekwondo or the boxer. You know, Grasso, she's got that hands-high guard. You know, she likes to walk fighters down, or sometimes she'll lure them into traps. You know, so it'd be really interesting to see if she could get into that range of a kicker like Natalia Silva, because, you know, Natalia Silva likes to move. She's kind of like a back-fighting Joanna. You know, Joanna likes to come forward, but she has all this energy. She bounces around. She'll throw combinations off the back foot, move, stick them high kicks. So in this type of fight, Alexa Grasso, you know, her come-forward boxing is effective. She can throw those quick little low kicks, and her ground game's getting better. You know, her ground game has gotten better, but would she be able to take Natalia Silva down. We should be able to close that distance without catching the head kick. That's what makes it interesting. Grasso, she's still hittable. Her defense isn't the best. She's getting pot-shotted by Viviane Araújo and Valentina Shevchenko. So taking on a quick striker like this, she's going to take some damage in there. She's definitely going to take some damage. Natalia Silva, takedown defense is on point. She's physically strong, and she's got cardio for days. She doesn't take too many risks, so that's what would make this fight even more interesting here. Like, I know a lot of people said because Grasso won the belt, she's guaranteed to win it, but not necessarily. Not necessarily, because she doesn't fight like Valentina. It's very awkward. I've said this before, Natalia Silva, she's probably going to make it at this point to the top because she'll get a title shot for sure, I believe, because not many women have seen this type of style, because she's the type of fighter that likes to, build up a lead and then go on the back foot. Nobody's really learned how to corner her and take her down like that, or even catch her with some punches. They're kind of scared to engage because she can counter from the outside like that. She's been catching a lot of girls, these slower fighters. Right now, if you look at the top 6, 7 fighters, she's probably the fastest. She's probably the fastest in there. So I think, and this is a weakness for Natalia Silva. I think Natalia Silva, her takedown, her takedown defense is good, but if she gets taken down by somebody like Grasso, who's kind of slippery on the ground now, we don't know how she'll react, right? We don't know how good she'll be. I've seen her get back to her feet real quick. Get up is good. She's active off her back at times, but will Grasso be strong enough to keep her down? She could be. Grasso's already tested herself on that level, so it'd be really interesting, if it goes to the ground. That's where it gets slippery on both sides. But as far as the striking battle, it could be boring at times if Natalia Silva stays on the back foot, but she's such a kicker that, she's going to be lining up those kicks from the outside. Will Grasso be able to time her and catch her when she's stepping in? Highly likely. So, again, another thing we'll see tested in that fight is Natalia Silva's chin. That's the one thing we'll see, too, because Andrea Lee was able to get in a few times with some shots, and I think that's what made her fight more to a decision to be safe. Grasso, on the other hand, I think she's more kind of risk it all now and likes to go after it. So I think whenever she hurts Natalia Silva, she'll go after it. So I kind of lean a little bit more towards the champ right now with it, but it's very close because, again, style-wise, we don't know how this plays out and how she'll react to somebody that moves like this and is finding their range with their feet like that, and that has cardio for days. So I'm just saying, 3-round, 5-round fight, it would be good. I think 5-round would be really good for both of these fighters. I'd love to see that type of style and this type of chess match at times, high-speed chess match. But that'd be another good flyweight fight. Any point of their careers, just want to see it happen within the next year and a half or so before these girls really start to get hurt and they start to fall off, right? Because out of these 6, somebody's going to retire, and usually somebody will be that fighter that's the one that's going to take the fall. I'm just being real. That's how it happens, Somebody's going to take the fall at some point. It has to, because got to have somebody's going to be a champion, somebody's a winner. That's just the game. That's the fight game, right? But yeah, man, those are the 3 fights that I love to see happen at some point in flyweight, y'all. Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot, and Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. All 3 be good fights. Let me know, guys, what y'all think in the comment section. Any other fights that y'all want to see matched up at some point. But these are the 3 I like to see. Leave your thoughts. Make sure y'all subscribe to y'all's favorite WMMA podcast, Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe.